I had a totally different video for you planned today than how it actually pans out. So please bear with me. Giggle along because we're laughing now and we find it hysterical. The original video was meant to be bubble and squeak and then turn that into fritters. Plan A didn't exactly work. The moisture was much too wet, so we turned it into a bake and we're quite happy with the results. Please watch. Tell us in the comments if you turned any failed recipes into successes, and tell me what you think of this and the result today. Okay, let's get on and show you how I made it. Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today I'm making bubble and squeak fritters. I want to call them patties, but I think fritters sounds just that touch nicer, so I'm calling them fritters. So you can make this recipe either way. You can either make it from leftovers from your Sunday lunch, from any meal that you use vegetables in midweek, or your Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving meal, whatever it is that you've done, virtually a meal with vegetables. Today, I'm choosing option 2 and I'm purposely making it from fresh ingredients. So these are the leftovers in the fridge and cupboard, but they're not leftovers where they've been prepped already for a meal. So I'm prepping them from scratch. So first of all, I'm taking 200 grams of cabbage. So you can see I've just cut a slice off, I've weighed it, and I just need 200 grams of this cabbage. So I'm just going to start off just shredding it. Bubble and squeak can actually be made from any vegetables, but the main vegetable that ties it all together is the potato. So if you've got parsnips, your sprouts, any vegetables at all, as long as you've got a few potatoes to tie it in with, you'll have bubble and squeak. And then if you go the next step and you actually make fritters with it, you can actually put them in your freezer and pull them out how many you need at a time to create a meal. So just get this in the pan and we can get that one a cooking. I've got fond memories of when I was a little girl. We'd have that Sunday roast. Then for the next couple of days, we'd have bubble and squeak. My dad was the cook and he'd make bubble and squeak for the next couple of days, because I don't care who you are, if you're making a roast dinner, a Christmas dinner or a festive dinner, you make enough to feed a tribe. There's always leftovers. There's always that one fussy eater who doesn't eat certain vegetables, but you make enough for 3 people. It's crazy. There's always vegetables left over. Rather than scrape it in the bin or waste it or just having the same set up meal, make something creative with it. This is age old, but it works. It's one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you don't really hear about bubble and squeak these days. Got memories of it, but it's not something fresh that people talk about. As usual, it never works for me first time. I'm just going to put a sprinkle of salt on top. And next we'll do the potatoes. So it only looks like I've got a few potatoes here. But this recipe calls for 500 grams of potatoes. And as you can see, a couple of these are just starting to sprout. So it's the perfect time to use them up. These vegetables are just sitting round. We use potatoes all the time, but I've obviously bought too many. And with having the heating on, they're going warm in the cupboard and they're sprouting. So time to take care of them and make a creative meal out of them. You love Bubble and Squeak, don't you? And we like a fritter. You put anything with it, salad, chips, bit of couscous, anything. You'd just slap it between two pieces of bread and make a butty, wouldn't you? Yeah. A sandwich. But yeah, sprouts is a good option as well. I've been out today shopping with my friends. We bought a few bits. So when I got home, I had to do the big freezer juggle. So we had water and ice all over the floor, trying to fit in the things I'd bought today. I've not done a haul video for a couple of weeks now, because I literally haven't been. My friend's been on holiday and circumstances have prevented it. So did a quick little shop today. I found things like bao buns and different things to put in the freezer, so we had to create space. So I took a couple of bags over to my neighbour, and he was made up. It's the same neighbour I take the bag to each time. I took him 2 bags today, and he was chuffed, but he said to me, "Oh no, I'll have to do the freezer rejuggle now." We all do it, it's the dreaded freezer rejuggle. So we want these to cook quickly, so I'm literally just cubing them. Smaller they are, the quicker they cook. I'm trying to show this recipe from beginning to end, because a lot of people who are commenting tell me they like the videos that are from beginning to end, and if it's a recipe they're not familiar with, or a vegetable or something they're not familiar with, to see it prepped and cooked all the way through from beginning to end is a bonus. To tell the truth, that's the type of videos that I like to watch, because if it's something I'm not familiar with, even if I am familiar with it, I like to see if someone uses a different method than I do. The girls and I went to cookery class this morning. It was our last one. We've been going for a few weeks now. It's every second week, and we've been going for a while. So as I say, it was the last one today. So we made, it was kind of like a Christmas crumble. So it was an apple crumble with raisins and custard, but it was a nice fancy custard. It was Madagascar vanilla custard, and then crumble on top. It was absolutely beautiful. But it was really, although I've cooked crumbles for years, it was really nice to see somebody else's method of mixing the crumb and bringing it all together. And I really, really enjoyed that lesson today. And the girls both said they felt the same. Again, another pinch of salt in the potatoes. And now we can move on. I literally am just washing my compost bin. It's in the sink. Anyone who knows, if you leave your compost bin a little too long, it has a really unpleasant smell. So I've just had to spray in the room, and I don't like doing that before I cook. But that compost bucket absolutely honked. Mr. Wallflower is just grabbing me a canning lid. It should just be on top in that drawer. the cannon lid seems to be the best way to get the seeds out of any squash or pumpkin, so long as it fits in the space okay. Really cleans it. Those straggly bits, sorry, I'm trying to show you. Those straggly bits that try and hang on to the end are a nuisance, but a cannon lid it's the best knife. Just scoops it all out nice and clean. Now, you don't always have to peel the butternut squash, but this is so marked up. Until the peeler gets awkward with you. It doesn't want to play. If you make butternut squash, what's your favourite ingredients to put in your favourite leftovers, or do you make it purposely like this? I don't really need freezer stockers, but I wanted to practice making this recipe. As I say, Christmas will be coming soon, and it's a brilliant recipe for leftover Christmas dinner. But it's a nice winter warmer recipe as well, isn't it? Yeah, you can put anything in them. It's just so convenient to be able to use up the vegetables. I'm playing it safe now, I'm not getting cut. Okay. Have you given me a new board? I was going to turn this one over. Okay. So. Now I literally only want, same as the potatoes, I literally only want 500 grams of butternut squash. Tell me when we're there. Do you know, I'm going to use this last piece, so I'm just using it all. Thank you. Mr. Wallflower's looking after the temperature. Here the vegetables boiling over. So I'm just dicing this up. I've got the big pan because I knew this would be more. I'm trying not to let the chunks be too big. I'm going to mash it anyway. But if they're not too big, it'll cook through quicker. And that's the last of the pumpkins now, isn't it? So none went to waste, did they? We ate them all, which is a blessing. And we've had some interesting meals out of them. And that's what we wanted to make sure that we do throughout. So we've been looking at what meat we're going to pick up for Christmas. We've got just over 4 weeks left now. Anyone who watches the channel will know that primarily everything comes from the Food Initiative. I found a gammon a couple of weeks ago, and my friend Claire also got one, and we were chatting today in the car, and she said, I've actually cooked my gammon. She said, and albeit nice, it's okay, it's just your generic, what we call a plastic gammon, you know, nothing fancy for Christmas, basically, no fat on it, just a basic gammon. So I've decided to buy a new gammon for Christmas with some proper fat on it, you know, so we can have a Christmas card, ham Christmas. And we're leaning towards a duck, aren't we? It's either a duck or a chicken. Mr. Wallflowers doesn't eat any of the Christmas meats, really. He'll eat a small amount of the gammon, but he doesn't eat chicken, turkey, duck, anything like that. And I quite fancy a duck. If not, it'll just be a chicken, but we'll see. We've had goose. There was no right home about the goose. We don't really like turkey. So yeah, I fancy a duck. So we've priced it. We've seen one in the supermarket is £9 for the duck. And then we've seen a nice ham with the fat on, and that was £8 for a nice straight size. So hopefully I can find one a tad cheaper somewhere else, but if not, I'm going to have to pay full price for our meat for Christmas Day. But I don't mind, I'm not being a Scrooge, but I'd just rather find it more frugally priced. Wouldn't we all? What meat are you having at your table this Christmas? 5. No, we're the first today. Oh, just over 3 weeks, yeah. What did I say? Just over 4? Calculations were way off. So create another meal from them. Get this in a compost bowl. And I'm just going to pop these in with the potatoes and let them cook with the potatoes. One took a run then. Okay, so I'm probably looking at 15 to 20 minutes for the vegetables to complete cooking. So once they're all ready, we'll come back and we'll carry on. Okay, so all the vegetables are thoroughly cooked through now. So I've got the parsnips, not parsnips, sorry, butternut squash, potatoes and spring onions, and the cabbage. And literally all I'm going to do is put them all in together. What bits I don't toss on the floor. And mash it together. Oh, first of all, I'm just going to add any herbs, things like dill, sage, rosemary, any herbs you like with your vegetables. I've literally got some Italian herb seasoning. I've had it there for a while and I'm starting to use it up instead of just letting it sit there. And it's got all of those herbs in that I've just mentioned. So I'm going to use this. I'm using up what I've got. I've not bought anything special for this recipe. It's literally everything that I've already got that just needs using up because it's sitting there. Trying to put approximately a tablespoon of herbs in just to give it plenty of flavour. And I think we're round about there. I always under season thinking I've put plenty in, and I could always do with that little bit more. But you do what you like and what your family likes. So I'm literally just mashing everything together in the pan. And a trick I learned a long time ago is to give it a good stir. Give it a good stir and it kind of thickens it and incorporates it in together. This is actually quite gooey at the moment. And I might actually have to add a little bit of flour because I'm not going to be able to form fritters or patties from that. So I'm literally just going to add a little flour to it. So I want plain flour. If I've got the muscles to open it. So I'm not measuring this, so I've probably put just under half a cup of flour in. And I'm literally, again, that trick, I've given it a good old stir. I use that on all my mashed potatoes and it just brings it together around the outside. I'm literally going to add a little bit more. Oh, these tops aren't made for you to get it off easily. So that's probably a cup of flour. But only because mine's extra liquidy. If yours is liquidy, do the same. If it isn't, then you won't need it. But it's a messy job to make the patties as it is. I don't want it too wet. Excuse me. Again, that's still too wet. Did you drain it fully? That's too wet for me to form patties with. Right, this is a packet of roast seasoning, crispy. I'm literally going to pour all that in. I don't know why it's so liquidy. We stopped recording. Okay, as you know with this channel, it's warts and all. So basically, it's turned out wrong. It's way too gloopy. You've seen I've added just over a cup of flour. You've seen I've actually added what I was using as a thickening agent, basically, and it hasn't worked. So I'm unable to make fritters at this point. But let's not give up. Let's see what else we can do. So I'm going to take a dish that I normally do pies, casseroles, etc. in. And what I'm going to do is transfer this now to this dish. I'm going to turn it into a bake. Let's not lose positivity. We've had an error. We've made a mistake. What are we going to do? Throw this good food away after all that hard work? No. We're going to move on. I'm going to say, right, let's make something else. Let's transfer all that goodness into a dish. Yeah, what a good idea. Mr. Wallflowers has lifted some mozzarella out of the oven. Out of the fridge, sorry. See, I'm not with it because this has gone, let's not say gone wrong, not gone to plan. Let's say that, not gone to plan. I'm too busy trying not to waste anything. Let's get my spatula and dry it off. Let's get every last bit of the not gone to plan out the pan. I'm not a one to give up without a fight, you know. Yep. And you know what? It's already cooked thoroughly through. So I'm saying what? Let's give it 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer, and see where we go. A nice good dollop of mozzarella on top. If you watch my hauls recently, you will see how much mozzarella I got at rock bottom price. If you haven't, go ahead and look at my recent hauls. I got 4 kilos of mozzarella. No, yeah, 4 kilos of mozzarella for £4. So I don't have to be too sparing with the mozzarella on here today. And I can choose to put a lashing amount on. Right, okay, it hasn't gone to plan. But let's see what we can do with it. Now in the oven at the moment, Oscar has hummus sticks. So I'm going to place this on the bottom and use the same heat while he's cooking. Once he's finished cooking, I'll transfer it to the top. Okay, recipe mark 2. I'll come back and I'll show you how it's worked. Thank you. So as we saw, plan A didn't go quite to plan. So we moved on and created plan B. We didn't get flustered, we just positively moved on because we weren't going to waste good food. So let's see how plan B has worked out. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So I've just lifted it out the oven. We had it in the oven for approximately 20 minutes. There's no airs and graces. I'm just going to dish it out like we would any other winter meal. So we've got that on the plate. Mr. Wallflowers will have 2 slices of bread with his. Will you have red cabbage? Will you have beetroot? What will you have with yours? Bit of red cabbage. You probably have to open this jar for me. Is the one open? don't think there's much in this one. Right, it's probably hot like lava, but as we know, he's got to give it a taste. So, let me turn the camera on you and give you the fork. And let's see what your verdict is.
Smells nice. Yeah, very nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back in for second dipping, so he must be liking it. Yeah. Do you mind if I taste from your place?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little bit of the mozzarella, some of the bake. It's very nice. It's not bubble and squeak that I remember from my childhood. It's very herby. It's very tasty. The vegetables and the mash are now a lot thicker. It's very tasty. And I realised, if only instead of adding the flour, I added some instant mashed potato, we would have got to the stage where I could have actually made the patties or the fritters. But hey, this is our meal for this evening. It's tasty. It's a winter warmer, and we're literally both going to enjoy it. So, yeah. Not plan A, but plan B's gone to plan, and it's going to be really tasty. Yeah. Would even be nice with a drop of gravy on if you fancied it, but not tonight, maybe tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. Never give up. Try something else. Don't throw good food away. Thanks for joining us. Please take care. Remember you're loved, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.